And I also love that he has no idea who she is. He has no idea who she is, what happened to her, like, you know, if she's good or bad. He just, you know, sees a person in need of saving and he saves her. Yeah. And it works out for the best. It works out for the best. Damn, he really just plugs in different hands. He's like freaking Inspector Gadget. Yeah, but like a surgeon. Damn, literal abs of steel. Or probably not even steel. It's just abs of just indestructible abs. Indestructible abs. So did it actually give her some cool new stuff too, like a healing system and some actual endurance and stuff, or did it just like replace her internal organs to some extent? Oh, got some blue fluid. Oh, almost like red blood and blue blood. Almost like red blood and blue blood. Oh gosh, that would be so freaky to pass out with a gunshot wound and then to wake up with cybernetics inside you. That would be the creepiest thing.
Master Assassin Fennec Shand.
Oh, he knows her. He knows her. So he did know her then when he rescued her.
Speed bikers defeated Tuskens? That's highly unlikely.
Some of them would have survived. Some of them should have survived.
Help me recover my fire spray gunship.
The slave one. Is that what he means, the slave one? No. It looks like a Toclafane. It looks like a Toclafane from Doctor Who, like a baby Toclafane. Yeah.
It's time to say farewell, my friend.
Farewell? Oh, he's leaving. Oh, he's gonna leave the bantha behind, right? Oh.
I'm gonna miss you too, old girl.
Oh.
Now go.
Oh, is he crying? Is Boba actually crying?
Make baby banthas.
Make baby bantha.
Go.
Go. Follow your dreams. Live your life. Make good choices. Oh, he is so good with animals. He's so good with, I think, just other living creatures.
I'm tired of working for idiots who are gonna get me killed.
Oh. They just cooked these things alive. They just cooked them alive. Hope they're not alive when they actually start to eat them. I mean, I don't know, maybe they're into that.
I will contact the rat catcher.
No, the rat catcher. Contact rat catcher. Bring her into this. Oh! Oh, geez, just fucking, just, I don't know, hector dealing, six dealing knives, dual wielding, triple wielding, just, oh god, it's okay, oh, there we go, just behead it, simple as, oh, yeah, bon appetit, yeah, a robot salad, a droid salad, that's a teeny tiny, with a net. Got it. Oh, is that the rat catcher? This is the rat catcher. Just shit. Oh god, I'm joking, the rat catcher is even slipperier than the rats. The rat catcher is slipperier than the rats. The rat catcher is just as slippery as potential rats. Oh, good god. Oh. Uh-oh.
Who I am? I am Boba Fett.
Never gonna tire of hearing him say that. Oh, did it just commit suicide?
Quick little bugger.
It literally just committed suicide. It powered itself down. It just, wow, okay.
Let's go.
So that was it, basically committing, oh god. Good to know they both eventually fight them before actually employing them.
Make sure that thing can still fly.
Okay, get ready for her. Get ready for her to do like a cool run up and then a jump, a leap onto the landing platform. God, the orientation of all of this is just so fucking... Ooh, nice. She has still got it.
A little busy here.
Oh god, no. Oh, firing it just in time. Firing it just in time. She is very good. She is so very, very good. Oh, the Nick Dope speed racer dudes. Yeah, taking all of them out. Oh, he's gonna come in from behind them. Oh, he's gonna come in from behind them. Oh, boy. Damn, just taking them out in one fell swoop. Taking them out in one fell swoop. Damn. Yeah, this is what you get. You mess with the Tuskens, this is what you get. This is what you get. Oh, Jesus. Damn, just literally just a quick rush and just jump. She gets it, whatever you want to do. She's with you, whatever you want to do. What's that?
Hang on.
What's that meant to be? Oh, that's the. I was about to say, is it the Sarlacc pit? Yeah. It looked very cratery.
Find my armor.
You think your armor's in there?
It's dissolved.
I can't see a thing.
Yeah, no shit. You're blotting out the sun. The sun's. Yeah, does the ship not have a flashlight? Oh, the ship has a flashlight. Right. No, because didn't the Jawas nick him? No, the Jawas nicked it. I think pretty sure he actually came out with the armor, right, in episode 1, and then the Jawas nicked it off of him. They just mugged him, and then the Tuskens found him. You want to go after the Jawas? Oh, jeez, yep, okay, I figured, the Sarlacc wants around 2. The Sarlacc wants around 2. You just had to poke the hornet's nest, didn't you, Boba? Oh, there we go. What are they? Oh, seismic charge! Is that a seismic charge? I think that's a seismic charge, right? That's got to be a seismic charge, yeah. Ah, chomp on that.
Fire in the hole.
Chomp on that. Yeah, seismic charge. Oh. They took out a Sarlacc with a seismic charge. Oh boy. They took out a Sarlacc with a seismic charge. Oh jeez, okay, now the Sarlacc is done and dusted.
Nothing. All junk.
The Jawas, you gotta hit up the... Does he not remember being mugged by Jawas?
It's not safe in there. What you need to find is a Bacta tank.
Oh, so that was her idea then, a back to tank. Her idea.
I'm tired of our kind dying because of the idiocy of others. It's time we took our shot.
Start your own business. Your own hunting business.
If I'm going to start a house, I need brains and muscle. I will cut you in on the success and pledge my life to protect yours.
Living with the Tuskens has made you soft.
You can only get so far without a tribe.
Congratulations, Master Fett. You are completely healed.
He's oh, I was about to say, he looks so much healthier now. He's completely healed.
Scars on the inside.
Ah. Oh, okay, so no need for a back to tank. Well, no need for using it now. Oh, it's a very angry drinker. He's a very angry drinker. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, oh no. Santa, what the hell's going on? Oh, Joe. Oh no. Oh no. You can just see the regret on his face. You can see the regret on his face.
I think you've made your point. You've won every trophy. Is it not beneath you to dismember this unfortunate Trandoshan?
Time to recruit Chrysanthemum. Time to recruit him.
You have run up quite a bar tab, Santo, so what say you release this
Santo.
crystal and let these fine folks
Santo
get
Chrysanthemum?
back to their
Was it
fun, and in
Black
return...
Santo Chrysanthemum. Oh, the tension. The tension. Oh. Oh, did he... Oh, we disarmed him. He disarmed him. He disarmed him. Oh. Oh. Don't want to mess with that guy. Do not want to mess with him.
Hit it, Max.
Yeah, just carry on the music. Some guys on the floor without an arm. Just carry on the music.
They have slowly absorbed our planet as part of their spice trade. They have bribed the mayor and are draining Tatooine of its wealth.
And why do you deserve to be the daimyo?
Oh.
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
Good question. Oh, the rancor, that's the answer. That would be the answer to that question. Yeah, great answer to a good question. The rancor. Even the rat catcher.
Please,
Yeah, don't be afraid. Sit down, right on top of the rancor.
Why should we spill the blood of our ranks for a feud waged between you
They'll come for you next.
and the Pikes?
I will make the streets safe again, so all in this room can prosper. All I ask in return is that you remain neutral if the Pike Syndicate approaches you to betray me.
Yes, yeah, that's a good deal, yeah. You either fight with him or you don't stand against him if they do come with him. If they do come to you.
How much treasure do we have in reserve?
I have plenty of credits. What I'm short on is muscle.
Credits can buy muscle. If you know where to look.
They're gonna hire more fighters. I would recognize that theme anywhere. I would reckon. Oh, are they gonna get him in? Are they gonna bring Din Djarin in? Oh, Kevin Tancharoen too. Directed by Kevin Tancharoen. Oh, he's done some really great stuff over on Shield. I know he's the Shield Agents of Shield director as well. He's done some really great episodes there. Oh god, that theme. Oh god, if they can bring Din Djarin into this as well. Oh boy. That would be good. That would be good. More hired muscle, more great muscle that they know will stand with them and they know they can actually handle themselves. Mandalorian is the easiest bet to make. Okay, so that ending, that theme, I would recognize that theme anyway. See, it's even just the first few notes. It didn't even actually go fully into the orchestra. I think if and when he actually shows up, I mean, I say if, I mean, they played the theme, that's a clear indication as to what actually may well happen, either in the next episode or even in the finale. So, you know, when he actually shows up, it either might start the same way, or it actually might just blow out fully into the orchestral kind of chorus and everything. So, I guess we'll see. But you know, those first few notes, when those first few notes played, I knew immediately what path they were going to go down. So, either in the next episode, like the next episode being the penultimate one, or you know, or even in the finale itself, I think we may well just see the two of them tracking down Din and actually seeing what he's up to and seeing, you know, if he's actually, I mean, I think, you know, assuming he's got nothing else going on, then he you know, likely very easily would stand with them and would actually help them and everything. But I'm really curious as to exactly how exactly we'll meet up with him too, because I think literally the last time we saw him, he had just given up Grogu to Luke and everything. And Fennec was with him too. Fennec was with him that time, and then afterwards she left him, and then went with Boba to Jabba's palace and killed Bib and kickstarted the whole kickstarted this whole new series. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna actually see him doing some kind of, because I think he don't even know if he actually counts as a bounty hunter anymore, because I think his old agency back on Tatooine is gone now. So you know, I think I'm not really sure. I think Carl Weathers too, I think his character is still around. Definitely, his character is definitely still around. So I don't know if he's actually gone back to him to start like a whole new business, because I think they did. I think it was in the season 1 finale. Like in the season 1 finale, they did eradicate the stormtroopers and actually take back that whole town and everything. So I don't know if he's actually gone back to him and actually just kickstarted their whole kind of enterprise, and he's gone back to bounty hunting. Maybe for him, this was also like a way for him to take his mind off of having given up / lost Grogu as well. Maybe he's actually gone back there and just gone back to bounty hunting again. But then would he be able to go back to it in the same way is what I wonder, because then he was a you know, like a coded but still kind of like a relatively emotionless bounty hunter before he met Grogu, and then meeting Grogu is what changed everything, meeting the child and having that child affect his life in the ways that he did and everything. So I don't know if he would actually be able to go back to bounty hunting in that same way. Like maybe he would go back conditionally. Maybe he wouldn't do certain missions, or maybe he'd only do like you know, like lower risk missions, or maybe just ones that had like decent pay, or maybe just something else. But I think he probably wouldn't do any more kind of like bounties to do with living creatures or to do with anything else. But or in that kind of fashion. So I don't know. But I think assuming that he did help can't remember what his name was. I think it's been so long. Carl Weathers' character, I think, can't remember what his name was in the show. But I think you know, I think good enough chances are he's gone back there, and he's actually helped to kickstart to actually kickstart the bounty hunting kind of agency, whatever you want to call it, that bounty hunting kind of troop up again. He's probably the highest kind of player and everything, so maybe that. But yeah, it'll be cool to see Boba and Fennec actually running into him again, actually meeting him again, actually seeing like if he's actually willing to join them and seeing what he's been up to, and then actually seeing if he's actually willing to join them to help take back Mos Eisley and do some fighting for the good of Tatooine and everything. So yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. But yeah, just hearing that theme again, in the end, just really just took me back and just immediately caught me off guard. So yes, I think even Fennec's line, like, with enough credits, you can find the right kind of hired muscle. So then that is them actually bringing in their old friend and their old ally Mando, and actually having Din fighting alongside them to complete this mission again. So that'll be a cool way to end the series. It'll be a cool way to end the season. So yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, I really like this one. I really love this one. I think again, like Kevin Tancharoen did this one too, but I think the problem I have is I don't always remember who directed what. So I think I know for a fact I vaguely do remember seeing Kevin Tancharoen's kind of name in the credits for various kind of Shield episodes, and seeing that he actually did direct a few of those episodes. And I think like from what I remember, it's been ones with like a lot of kind of like fast paced action and drama, and like a lot of tension like within them, and oftentimes actually exploring like partnership between people, and partnership and connection between characters, and how things are and how things kind of work between them and everything. So he's directed a lot more of those kind of grounded, more kind of like kind of humanizing kind of episodes too. So exactly which ones those are not like name wise aren't really coming to mind right now. I think he did most of his during I think most of his credits come from like season 2 or 3. I think, yeah. So I don't know if he was in season 1. I don't know if he did any for season 1, but I think season 2. I think he did like a fair amount of those, and I think he continued his work in season 3. Don't know if he did any for season 4, but I think season 2 and 3 might be where his name actually shines up the most. So he did this one, and this one was great. I love this one. This like a really solid like start to finish exploration of the partnership between both Boba and Fennec too. Boba and Fennec just having like a really solid, really kind of powered and really kind of well driven kind of partnership between them from start to finish. Like him, even I initially assumed that he actually didn't know who she was, and just thought that, oh, maybe her ship crashed here, or maybe she crashed here, and she just needed help, and she just needed to kind of like be healed and be recovered from her wounds and everything. So maybe he just saw a person in need and saved her. Because then the Tuscans did the same. The Tuscans did near enough the same thing for him too. The Tuscans found him. They took him in, still healed him, but then not knowing who he was or what his intentions were, or what his intentions were, I think they just kind of took him in as a prisoner to start off with, and then eventually he kind of gained their trust and became one of them. So with this one, I think he still kind of he is then actually using those same kind of perspectives and that kind of lens to try and help her out and everything, except not keeping her a prisoner, of course. So there's that. But then no, but then he did take her to the body modification place in Mos Eisley, and he did get her the modifications we see her with in season 2. So I think with her, yeah, I think she's got all sorts of different kind of pumps and valves and different wires and tubes with like a red liquid and a blue liquid. So I'm choosing right now. I don't know if you're meant to. I kind of can't see any other way than the fact that you're meant to. But then it's like, I think it's kind of more fun to think that, oh, like it's literally a tube meant to kind of signify red blood and blue blood traveling throughout her body and everything. But either way, it's just like some liquids that probably help kind of keep her running, or help kind of replace any lost kind of fluids in her system, and maybe chemicals that actually help her kind of help make up for what she's missing. Because I think he did say it was a gut shot, but I think it wasn't like a fully kind of it wasn't like a fully explicit or gory kind of actual operational kind of scene like it didn't really show him like salvaging any organs or salvaging lost tissue or muscles or anything like that. Like, 'cause I think even from the shot that we saw, it kind of went through her clothes and through her armor and burned her out and everything. So there's no sign as to just how bad the damage actually was on the inside, but all we know now is that her entire, like what looks like her entire abdominal system has been replaced with machinery, so she is now part of that. I mean, she's now essentially a cyborg. So that is super cool. And I think, it's not steel, but she now has literal abs of metal too. She has literal abs of metal, so she is not to be trifled with. Less so than before. She was never to be trifled with before, but now she's even less so to be trifled with, so I do wonder that if it's mainly just if it's mainly like a reparational thing, like if it's just meant to replace what's missing, or to actually kind of help her kind of recover from her injuries, or if it, because then I was wondering, like, I mean, maybe actual upgrades would cost more money, like maybe like the credits that the money that that Boba actually had was actually just enough to actually help heal her and to recover her and to actually kind of help her recover from her previous wounds, and maybe that's literally all it was, like maybe even like it would act like in the same way that like that prosthetics or something, or just kind of replacing what's missing and replacing what needs to be there and everything. So maybe it's not actually meant to give her any kind of boost, like a health regen or like a healing factor, or it's not really meant to make her run faster or be able to withstand more damage or anything. Maybe it's just literally meant to, you know, be like a stand-in for the actual organic stuff that's missing. So, because then I was wondering, like in that final kind of shootout before the slave one made it out of the basement, I was wondering could she throw superpowered punches or kicks, or could she actually take more hits now because she had like a cybernetic kind of construction in her abs, or what was gonna happen? I mean, there's no confirmation that that's not the case. I mean, we haven't seen her. I mean, I think she likely doesn't want to risk it, but I think there's no confirmation or denial that she can or cannot take more, like, any new shots to the gut. Like, you know, there's no, you know, confirmation or denial as to whether or not she can actually take more blaster shots or whatever to the gut or anything. But I think it looks like, you know, I mean, it being cybernetics, it definitely looks a lot stronger than the kind of obviously organic stuff that she had before. So I think maybe in that sense, not only is it meant to replace what's missing, but also it's likely meant to be a lot more durable too. So it can actually kind of keep her. It can maybe even keep her alive for a lot longer too. Maybe these kind of replacements actually updated her kind of lifespan and everything. So maybe she can actually live for like a few more years or like 100 more years or something. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But you know, it works. It works. She's back. She drank some black melon juice, and then, you know, she still got it. She's very much still got it. She's still a great shot. She's an excellent fighter and everything. So it definitely worked in her favor. So that was cool. And I think even timeline wise too, I think that shot of him walking up to her body in the sand did just kind of, it went even further to confirm that not only was Boba the one that rescued her and gave her the new mods, or at least got her the new mods, but the flashbacks that we've seen so far have been leading up to that episode. Because I think that scene took place, I think, during season 1, like at the end of an episode of season 1, it took place, and I think in that very same episode too, in the same episode that Fennec Shand was introduced and then later shot by the other kind of douchey bounty hunter dude. I think the ending for that episode was actually her being found by a mysterious figure in the sands and everything. So, you know, I think that just confirms that the flashbacks we've seen so far, regardless of whether they've taken place over the course of weeks or, I mean, probably months, because he's needed time, like a lot of time to actually heal and everything. So, regardless of if it's been weeks or months, it's been taking place over the course of the first season of The Mandalorian 2, so that's all been leading to the end of that episode. And I think that episode, I think it's about halfway through the season 2, so it's not really like that far in, but it's also not really kind of too early on either. So it's like the near enough like the perfect kind of time during Mandalorian, I think. So yeah, so then we know Boba doesn't actually see Mando in the distance until the beginning of season 2. So, you know, no idea if they're actually going to stretch the flashbacks out to that far out, because I think now we've got 2 episodes left, so I think that there's not really like a huge amount of telling exactly like how much more they're going to cover, or how much more kind of, you know, like time or space is actually left between this segment of his past and then leading up to him seeing Mando with his armor and everything. So who knows? But yeah. So then, I think that, like, in terms of that flashback now, I think now then they've actually managed to catch up towards the end of the Mandalorian and everything. So then that's cool. And then yeah, the episode just from then on, from the mods on and her recovery onwards, the episode just kind of gave us the greatest content of Boba and Fennec's partnership, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, and their partnership throughout this entire episode of her working with it. I mean, initially the deal being like, you know, oh, I do this for you, and then I like my debt towards you for saving my life is settled, and I can go my own way and everything. And I think, I mean, usually when they start off with that, you just kind of you get the feeling that they're both actually gonna kind of get along well enough to actually want to stick together towards the end. In the end too. So I think, you know, and I mean, to me, that's not really obvious or predictable. It's just like, you know, like that's the kind of thing you like to see, and it's also the kind of like when when you know to expect it, or at least like when you feel like when you feel like it's coming, or like you feel like it's coming. I feel like that's just a sign that, on the one hand, where the story is going, also because in the present day they are obviously very much kind of together in that sense too, like in like a partnership sense, but also because you can just tell that over time these two characters are gonna get along so well together that in the end they're gonna want to stay together. So then you want that kind of partnership, that kind of chemistry is good. It's good to watch. It's actually interesting and entertaining to watch. So then that's exactly what's gonna happen, and you look forward to seeing how just how well that flourishes, and and how well that actually gets written and everything, and it's written very well. Like they get along well as fighters. They get along really well together. As fighters, they are really kind of skilled and fluid and very complementary of each other's abilities too, which is actually really nice to see. So that's cool. Like he respects her and she respects him as a fighter. I think I think they're both also kind of aware of each other's history too. Like for her, he is Boba Fett who died after falling to the Sarlacc pit, and then for him, she's Master Assassin Fennec Shan too. Which, I mean, what else could she possibly be? What else could she be? So. I think it's cool to see them actually having at the very least like a base level knowledge of each other's kind of each other's identities through reputation and through occupation. But then now with this episode, they actually get to know each other and actually get to kind of spend time trying to complete like a mission and trying to complete tasks and everything, and actually seeing how each other actually works in the field, both in stealth and in active combat and everything. So that kind of stuff was really cool. It was really, really cool. And I think both individually and even together, I think that they're both just really interesting, really, really cool characters in this kind of sect of the Star Wars universe too, like in these kind of Disney Plus series and everything. Like they've both been giving really interesting character arcs and stories and backstories to kind of consume and everything. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun. So I think seeing their partnership kind of flourish over the course of this episode is honestly, again, it's just like I think that is honestly how you can tell it's like a Kevin Tanchero directed episode too. Because I think again his work on Shield, I think from my kind of like method, from what my memory is serving me as, like he often does actually kind of give you like episodes with like a lot of like human contact and human connection and like actual like chemistry and connection between characters and everything, and actually making sure that that these are real, and making you feel as if these are real people, to the best of his ability and to the best of the actors' abilities too. Like Ming-Na Wen and Temuera Morrison too. Just hats off to them. They are bringing these characters to life in such like fluid and fleshed out ways. So just hats off to all of them. Hats off to all of them. So they did like that really, like for me, that really made this episode as entertaining and as joyful as it was to actually watch, and just seeing them running around kicking ass and firing shots and everything was just really super cool. So yeah, it was fun. It was great. So their mission in this one was to recover Boba's ship, the slave one. Although I think slave one, might be more like the actual name, like a label that is given, like the same. I think the same way. What was Mando's ship called? The not the Benatar. That's from Guardians, not the Benatar. But the same way that the Benatar and like the Milano before. I think the Milano. I think the Milano in Guardians was actually named Milano after Alyssa Milano, who was like a childhood crush of Peter Quill's. But then I think even the Benatar was the name it was given. But I think that wasn't like the type of ship it was. I think the type of ship that the slave one is a fire spray gunship, as he called it. But then I think the actual name that is given to identify it by is the slave one. So I think what was the Astor, the Astor crest? I think not the Astor crest. I think the asteroid, not the asteroid. Something crest. I'm pretty sure something crest like. The Razor Crest, the Razor Crest, not the Razor Quest, the Razor Crest. So that was what the actual ship was, called, like the name that it had been given by him and or by others. But then I think, don't know, I'm not sure. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was called the Razor Crest, but pretty sure it was called the Razor Crest. But then it actually had like the actual type of gunship or the type of kind of travel ship that it actually was. Because I think that one, gunship. I think gunship can also mean travel too. But I think gunship just means like it's also very, very suitable for actual kind of aerial combat and aerial kind of like distress in that way too. So I think it's like it can be used definitely as a travel ship to actually transport people. But then it's also very much kind of like suited for more than one type of purpose too. So. Very much weaponized. So the slave one, as we saw it, was actually kind of hidden away under the in the kind of very, very dusty basement of Jabba's palace, presumably under the orders of Bib Fortuna, so it was hidden away there. So then they had to go in and take out all the other guards. Or I mean, they didn't take out all the other guards because they preferred to do it stealth. Because then, if you know, if any of the guards actually had actually managed to catch them, then of course, you know, like they knew from the droids' kind of, you know, hollow footage that there were a lot of guards in there. There were a lot of guards in there. So I think they didn't have the kind of, you know, strongest confidence in actually taking them out before they got to the ship. But then once they got to the ship and once they got the weapons active and everything, it'll be fine then. It'll be fine then. So. And then that scene in the kitchen too. That scene in the kitchen, just them easily taking out the sous chef droids. I think, yeah. I mean, I think it's because I think I haven't really kind of seen everywhere that I think I'm pretty sure. I think after seeing that kitchen scene and after then having to process the existence of sous chef droids. I mean, they've shown up in other places. I think you know, I think at this point, even the series, even the Disney Plus series, have actually established that there's droids for almost every purpose out there. Like it's not just kind of combat droids. There's mechanic droids. There's you know, culinary droids. There's all sorts of different droids out there. But I think having seen that kitchen scene, I think it's like a nice enough kind of like a reminder for me. Like, oh yeah, all sorts of droids exist in this universe, and that there's droids for every purpose. Because now like droids themselves are ubiquitous, and if you can build a droid and find if you can build a droid and program it, then you can likely find pretty much any purpose for it too. So I think because of that, like droids are like that much more kind of accessible to throughout the galaxy too. So that was cool. But seeing the droids in there, I think that one just kind of dual like triple wielding on each hand too, like 3 on here and 3 on here, and just kind of swinging the knives around and actually just kind of, you know, posing a very, very kind of bladed kind of threat, and then until Fennec comes along and just kind of, you know, like kind of laser bolts its head off and everything, and it just slowly dies and the head falls into the sand and everything. So that was interesting. But then they thought that rats had come through the vents, so then they called for the rat catcher. The rat catcher, I think, I mean, it makes sense, but it also amazes me just how slippery the rat catcher is, because I think rats themselves are slippery. Rats, I think, in the Star Wars universe, if you get alien rats, they're probably even more slippery than regular Earth rats or whatever. So because that they built the rat catcher droid to be as fluid and as slippery as the rats themselves. So like the rat catcher droid can actually slip through the sleekest and, you know, like a narrowest of kind of creeks and crevices, and it can actually it's really fast too. So it's actually a droid built and designed to chase down rats and to be as agile and be as quick as the rats are. So then because of that, Boba actually had like enough of a tough time trying to chase down that thing. That is just one of the funniest things I've seen. Easily one of the funniest things I've seen in this show so far. Just, you know, Boba versus a rat catcher droid. He just can't hit it no matter what he does. He keeps hitting pots and pans and all sorts of other things, and it just keeps kind of running circles around him and then escaping through a different kind of hole each time until Fennec finally catches up to it. And then easily then, I think the fact that they actually don't take it out straight away, but it's like, and instead Boba actually picks it up by the neck and it's like, oh, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And he's like, oh, I am Boba Fett. And I think hearing him say Boba Fett in that voice, in that accent, in that everything will never get tiring, that will never get old, it will never get tiring. It's just so badass to hear him actually say, even especially without the mask. But I think, you know, the helmet. But I think hearing him say with the helmet would probably be, you know, like even more kind of euphoric and everything. But still, hearing him actually threatening a Ratcatcher droid with that, like telling it that he is Boba Fett, and then the Ratcatcher droid actually, I'm pretty sure that's the droid equivalent of suicide, right? I think it literally powered itself down. So I think unless someone on the outside actually powers it back on, I'm pretty sure it just wouldn't even come back to life. So I think it literally gave up control over its own life, and it literally turned itself off in a way that it wouldn't be able to turn itself back on. So yeah, it means it's dead until it's switched back on. Like, it has a power button, so it's like I think unless it jumped into like a fire or jumped into an explosion that had, you know, destroyed it beyond repair, then I think that would be more like a surefire death. But then with this one, this seems like feels wrong to call it temporary, but I think it definitely has elements of like almost like a cyanide pill type thing, or almost like taking a cyanide pill. Only with this one, it can actually be reversed, because then you can start to power it back. And I think he dumped it in the trash in that scene, but I'm pretty sure like in the actual present day when he was having that round table with the other captains and everything, I'm pretty sure the Ratcatcher droid was there too. So I think he did. I think maybe somehow he either found another one, or maybe he managed to take it with him somehow, and then powered it back on and had it working for him now. So now the Ratcatcher droid works for him. So I think, yeah, honestly, Boba is just like each episode goes by, Boba is just finding more and more people to actually recruit to his side. I think with the exception of the assassins from episode 1, I think it was episode 1. He's just finding he comes across people trying to kill him and he recruits them. I think that has. I remember reading stories before of how Google would actually hire hackers who managed to who managed to get into the system. Like if Google ever encountered or detected hackers trying to break it, like they would encounter hackers trying to break into the systems, but then if the hackers actually managed to get into the system and actually managed to actually get into it and actually managed to show signs and show potential of actually breaking through, then Google would actually hire them to make their system stronger. So with this one, like it gives me almost the exact same energy with this one, where Boba just comes across people either sent to kill him or trying to kill him, or people who just kind of have some kind of air of mystery and air of kind of rejection about them, and then they actually and then he actually ends up actually giving them a place. And I think it's I think it's definitely, because he even mentioned it in the flashbacks in this episode too, like him talking about how that he actually does hold the Tuscans in like a very, very close place to his heart, because of the fact that they took him in, they nourished him, they actually made him one of their own, and they actually gave him a home, they gave him a place to call home, and they actually gave him like a new identity and like a refreshed identity and like a new purpose and everything. So because of that, I think their methods of taking care of him have really kind of been imprinted onto him, and he's actually remembered it. So I think he kind of carries those ideals and carries those kind of lenses of actually seeing the worth in people when no one else will. He sees that when he walks through Mos Espa. So he with the bodyguards, I think he believes in giving second chances too. So I think even like with the bodyguards and with the youths and potentially even Black Chrysanthemum too. I think even Black Chrysanthemum, like at the very end of this, he even actually managed to go back and recruit Black Chrysanthemum. So he actually sees worth in people, he sees potential in them, and he actually gives them a chance to prove themselves in a way that he can deem worthy, instead of actually leaving it up to society to cast them out and everything. So it's a really kind of like a good natured kind of message there. It's an unsurprisingly good natured kind of message in there. So I really love that. So yeah. And then even that flashback showing Boba and Fennec kind of talking about Boba wanting to start his own house, wanting to start his own kind of bounty hunting kind of crew, and his own house, essentially his own agency and everything. And like him especially talking about he's tired. He appreciates his own skills as a bounty hunter and as a hunter. He appreciates his own skills, his own trade. But then he's tired of working for guys that get themselves killed or try and get him killed, and people who actually he's tired of working for idiots. And the way he said himself, he's tired of working for idiots and actually working for people who either have no idea what they're doing or end up making decisions that actually come back to bite them in the ass one day. So he wanted to start his own one. He wanted to start his own house. He wanted to actually kind of carry on in his own name and carry on in his own kind of legacy and in his own kind of brand and with his own reputation. So he wanted to do that. So I think then we can see that kind of idea, that kind of plan for the future, then leads into him and Boba both kind of identifying that Bib is easy to take out and everything. So they can very easily kind of take him out and actually take over that whole kind of palace, and then it will take work, but then they both believe that together they can actually make it something better and something more fruitful and more kind of potentially even like a lot less corrupt too. I mean, despite it being like a crime house, but still they can make it something that's actually more worthwhile compared to what the predecessors had. So that was cool. And then I think in kind of honor of his newfound kind of cooperative efforts and his newfound kind of solid kind of chemistry with Fennec, I think he actually did offer her the chance to actually kind of work for him and to actually kind of I think near enough be partners too, like not exclusively just kind of working under him, but actually like him actually being able to identify her as like an equally talented fighter and like an equally skilled kind of hunter next to him too. And I think her kind of having I think even with her being like an assassin too, even despite her being a master assassin and not a bounty hunter, he still kind of identified that she still had the skill set and the actual skill, and she could ideally have like the kind of mentality to be a bounty hunter if necessary too. And even offered her like a share of the partnership, and even like a fair enough cut of the deals that the deals that the like a fair enough cut of the actual profits that they would make running his house and everything. But then Fennec being like a master assassin and not like bounty hunter, she's used to working on her own. She's used to taking her own contracts and actually working as like an actual kind of like a almost like a sole trader, if you will, like her being self-employed almost, or almost like her being self-employed and actually working like for herself essentially. She agreed to to actually kind of take contracts and everything, but then she'd only be working by herself and to actually kind of have her own sole ownership over her own jobs and everything. So yeah, but then in the end, I think again in the end they managed to work something out, and it's because again I think they just kind of worked that well together, and they work that well together, but also as people they kind of get along that well together too. And I think they kind of have similar enough kind of ideologies in life too, of like, you know, just wanting to survive. Like both of them kind of identify that they have these skill sets and it would be a shame to let them go to waste, so then they do what they have to do to survive, and they still, you know, pretty sure that they both individually and kind of like symmetrically, for lack of a better term, I don't know what else to use. I think like they both still have their own moral codes too. Like they would not kill mercilessly, or I mean, with the exception of the biker dudes, because they were fucking murderous douchebags. They both kind of have their own moral codes. They're like they still have lines they will not cross, but then they do what they need to do to survive, and they still take on jobs that might seem a lot more kind of grey areaed, or might seem a lot more kind of more illegal than necessary in the eyes of others. But then with them, it's like, you know, they have skill sets. They know who they are. They know who they are, and they know what they're good at. So then they're not afraid to work together or to even actually do whatever job needs to be done in order to get by. So because I think they pretty much had like their eyes on like a partnership kind of secured pretty like early enough from the get go. So seeing that kind of conversation kind of happening, and them kind of coming to terms with like a new deal was really fun. And yeah, even at the very end too, like her actually you know, just kind of like even at the very end, like after they got the ship back, I think the first thing they did was actually going after the actual biker troop too. I think him immediately hunting down that squad of bikers and just erasing them, just completely wiping them off the map, just without needing to land, without needing to take any breaks, without needing to do anything else. He just completely wiped them off the map, and even you know, I think just kind of like laser blasted them and just destroyed them all, and just took them out in one fell swoop with a kind of equal parts merciless and also vengeful kind of face on him as well, just like him being like in his head being like, you know, this is for my people, this is for the Tuscans, this is for the Tuscans, and this is for my people. So like him actually getting vengeance in their name and actually, you know, making sure that they can't do this to anyone else ever again. Super cool scene, super euphoric and super, you know, satisfying scene. So that was great. But then apparently he did not recall being mugged by the Jawas, because I think we saw after he made his way out of the Starlight Pit, the Jawas came by in their giant kind of ship on chainmail wheel thingies. They came by in their ship, and they actually did happily mugged him and stripped him of his weapons and his armor at the end, and left him in just like a vest of a bodysuit and everything. But apparently he didn't recall that. But, I mean, you can't blame him. He spent years down there, and he, you know, probably his mind had been blank and eroded too. Just like his just like the rest of his body. So you know, can't really blame him can't blame him for not remembering every last detail. But then he kind of mistakenly thought that, oh, maybe he actually didn't make it out with the armor, so maybe the armor was still down in the Starlight Pit and everything. But in fairness, it did give him an excuse to actually finally kill the creature that kept him kind of prisoner for years on end. So I think that thanks to Fennec and her identification of the actual seismic charge back. And I think they brought the seismic charge back too. I think it was used so well. It was used so coolly in the second season of The Mandalorian too, like him actually taking out those other Imperial ships with the seismic charge and everything, so that was cool. And actually just having it this time just blow out the insides of the Sarlacc too, finally, for once and for all, taking out the Sarlacc pit. So taking out the Sarlacc once and for all. You know, I mean, people probably might still be able to fall down there, but then, you know, like nothing's gonna eat them, nothing's gonna come up and actually try and chomp them down or anything. So, you know, I think now also it's like a dead creature too. So I think with the creature being as dead as it is, I think, you know, biologically speaking, it's probably not going to produce any more acid. It might just kind of the acid that's already down there might just kind of now erode over the now decaying kind of flesh. So maybe it's just going to be. I mean, now it's probably just going to turn into like a toxic waste pit or something, with all the gases and bodily fluids still kind of floating around down there, but then with no body to produce anymore and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm thinking too much into that, but still, I think it's just like a, it's just like a thought to my mind is having. But regardless, he thought the armor was down there. It wasn't. But what was what was definitely down there was like a still living Sarlacc. Was a still living Sarlacc that probably remembered him and saw this ship as a new opportunity to actually chomp on something new. So then they couldn't quite make it out until Fennec identified the seismic charge button, and then the seismic charge button, and then actually released that. So they managed to bring that in like a really awesome way. So that was cool. And then he even still went back in afterwards. I think so then him going in there and still coming out with acid burning his clothes and his skin away and everything was still proof that, I mean, to be fair, that was a fresh kill. That was a fresh kill. So I think if you give it time, then afterwards it should probably become more toxic or more kind of acidic in some way. So with that one, even with the Sarlacc now dead, I think it was a lot easier to actually go down there without fear of being trapped in there forever, unless you made one wrong move or unless the entire thing collapsed or something. So there was that. So then he went down there and still identified that there was only junk and no actual armor or anything. So but then we as the audience know, oh no, the Jawas got it, and then Cobb Vanth at some point is going to get his hands on it. So good enough to see the seismic charge back again. So. And then back in the present day too, again, Black Chrysanthemum, he was having a very, very angry drink at Garth's establishment and everything. He was watching some other aliens kind of win at card games, and he was getting more and more pissed off he was getting more pissed off the happier they seemed, and the more they seemed to win, until he finally couldn't take it anymore. He just kind of went over and just bished and bashed and boshed a good few of them and everything, and then Garth had to come along and remind him and kind of give him a bit of like a kind of like a legacy pep, like a legacy style pep talk, to try and talk him down from doing this kind of stuff that he used to be. He actually used to be like a great famed fighter in the actual fighting pits and everything, and crowds used to come and cheer his name, and they used to watch him demolish his opponents, and he used to have that kind of history. But now he's just like a contracted kind of fighter, similar to Fennec almost, and now he's just kind of like he kind of works for whoever will have him, whoever will give him credits and wealth that he desires and everything. But now even his previous employees have let him go, so now he's just like now he's like a hunter without anyone to hunt, without anyone to actually give him contracts or anything. So now he's gonna have a harder time actually finding work. So then now he's just kind of angry and drunk, and he's very, very vengeful, very, very, very rageful and everything. So. And yeah, then like the actual speech itself didn't even work. He still kind of went out of his way to just kind of literally fully tear the arm off of that alien dude and just leave him presumably bleeding out on the floor and everything. So very angry, very angry. But then I think Boba being Boba, he can still kind of sense that kind of need to work within Chrysanthemum, and that kind of need to actually work for someone worth working for. So now Boba can kind of accurately identify himself as such and everything. I mean, it happened a lot sooner than I thought. But then even the way that they brought him back just showed him being angry and rageful and just not wanting to see others being happy with him, kind of having not really having much to do or much to kind of have anymore. So now he he needed someone to actually actively look here. He needed someone to actively seek him out and seek out his services to make him feel kind of worthy again. So now Boba has become that person. So now, I mean, either way, Boba recruited him. Either way, Boba actually had him join Boba's ranks, and and now he can be a fighter for a better man again. So yeah, Black Chrysanthemum on Team Boba. So that's cool. That is cool. And then the final kind of segment, the final kind of 10-ish kind of minutes. Boba kind of rallying all the remaining captains who actually once kind of had their kind of power and their shares of riches and wealth and putting control under Bib and Jabba's kind of rule as well. I think that same scene came from the actual trailer as well, like them just kind of questioning exactly why they should follow Boba and exactly why they shouldn't just kill him and actually take his power for their own and actually fight amongst themselves again. So then now the no longer empty Rancor cage comes in very useful. Them just kind of having the shit scared out of them by the Rancor, and being kind of given that message of like, well, you know what's waiting for you you know what's waiting for you if you actually try anything. If you try anything, if you actually do if you do threaten Boba's life or actually threaten to take over his rule, then you know exactly what's waiting for you. So yeah, and I think again like Boba kind of showing like very very reasonable, very very kind of like agreeable kind of leadership skills too, like him giving them the choice of like if you do if you do fight with him, then you'll have an even more guaranteed kind of share of riches and wealth and the control that you desire in the end, like an actual fair amount of riches and wealth and power and everything. But that's up to them. But then if they don't fight, then if they don't fight with him, and if they and if they really don't want to risk actually losing any of their kind of infantry or any of their kind of fighters to the Pike Syndicate, then all he asks is that if the Pike actually approaches them in fighting him, they remain neutral. They kind of stay out of it, and they just kind of wait to see what happens. And if they actually get anything out of it at the end, then they get anything out of it at the end. So then I think Boba's still kind of like he I think his kind of simplest kind of ruling kind of methods that he stated were to actually rule with respect and not fear. But then I think he's actually kind of going far and beyond to actually show that he's going far and beyond to show that it's not just about being respectful, but it's about him actually being reasonable, actually kind of actually bringing people together to meet on like a compromise and actually making sure that everyone gets a little bit of something, so that then they can actually kind of know that he's that way they know that even if he can't give them everything, he will always try and give them something. He will always try and actually make sure that the people under his watch and under his control and under his rule will always have something at the end of the day, and they can actually kind of have something that benefits them. So it's like very much kind of focusing, as he said, on like a mutually beneficial agreement and everything. So with the Pikes actually trying to take over the world with like their spice with their spice trade and everything, I think different people would come under fire in different kinds of ways, and he kind of analyzed that and presented that and actually told them about that and everything. So he knew that like that they would be stubborn enough to actually want to kind of take a part in this, but then still like not all of them would really be willing or like naive enough to think that okay, this might end up in like a fully blown out war or something. But then even if it did, then there's no guarantee that any of them would want to risk their people kind of dying in the crossfire, or even actually giving their lives for something that they feel like wouldn't really be substantial anyway. So then if they didn't feel like the reward was worth personally fighting for, then just wait and see what happens. But then especially don't try and turn against him, and don't ally with the Pikes in their pursuit of power against Boba. So yeah, again, just a really respectful and reasonable leader. He's that. He employs people under great conditions and gives them what they deserve, and gives them what he thinks they deserve, and actually makes sure that they're treated fairly, because he knows the value of hard work and actually doing what needs to be done, and actually getting what you're owed at the end of the day too. But then also actually being like, what, if you don't want to, then don't, fine, but just like don't try and double cross me at the end, because I'm being decent and I'm being reasonable. So that's the kind of character, that's the kind of man that Boba is. He's reasonable, and he's just a man trying to make his way through the galaxy, and that includes actually treating others fairly, dependent on situational stuff and context as well. But still, he's a reasonable man. You can't deny that he's a reasonable man. So yeah, I think in general too, I think with the Pike Syndicate, with the actual spice trade stuff, there's a lot more. I feel like there's definitely like a lot more kind of political and socioeconomic kind of lore behind these kind of different kind of aspects and these different characters that are kind of deeper rooted in Star Wars kind of lore and stuff that I'm just not really kind of caught up on or like in tune with. So there's a lot of different stuff that I feel like I need to explore before I actually fully understand just how dire, or how before I fully understand just how kind of deep the situation actually runs, and exactly what this means for various people, and exactly what that means story-wise and everything. So deciphering as best as I can, even for like especially from like an actual casual kind of viewer's kind of standpoint. So yeah, but regardless, I mean, I think that the story is actually still getting all the more interesting as the episodes go on. So I think I'm definitely enjoying the series. I'm definitely enjoying the show as the episodes go on. So there's no denying that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of different stuff that I'm kind of there's either flying past my head completely, or I'm just kind of not really interpreting it or actually understanding it fully, because of the fact that I'm not really in tune with all of Star Wars history. But still, I'm here, and I'm here to enjoy the show as much as I can. So that much is easy enough to do. It's easy enough to do. So yeah, that is that too. That is that point too. But yeah, I think in general that's just pretty much what I've picked up. That's all I've picked up. I think it's just like it feels like a really fun, really good kind of very, very, very calmly paced and very, very grounded story, which is in general. I think I feel like it's unique vibe for Star Wars there. But I think for these characters, I feel like for almost any character with the right kind of team, they could easily make it work, and easily with this show similar to The Mandalorian, they have a good enough team to actually make it work, and to not have everything need to be really kind of fast paced or high paced kind of action and all that kind of stuff. It's actually really giving Boba like a lot of depth and like a lot of kind of like character content that actually makes him interesting to watch and interesting to understand and kind of connect to and everything. So just a really solid show so far overall. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the next 2 episodes actually roll out. So should be fun. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this one so far. So that was the Book of Boba Fett, chapter 4. So thank you guys as always for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment whatever your thoughts are on this episode, how you felt about it, and what your theories are going forward, what you're looking forward to in the next couple of episodes, and how you think this season might end, and if you hope for a season 2 as well, if you actually think that they might go into season 2, if you want them to go into season 2, anything like that, leave your comments below. Full-length reaction for this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there too. And yeah, that is it for now, so until the next time, bye bye for now.